Alright, in this video we are going to talk about multiplying two-digit numbers by two-digit numbers. This is where it gets kind of complicated. This is where a lot of you struggle with understanding the process because it's just a lot of numbers, and I get it. I'm totally there. Been there, done that. So hopefully this video will help you in understanding it a bit better. And also, maybe you can use it as a resource for extra practice. So I'm just going to start by showing you an example of what to do, and then I'm going to talk you through how to solve it. Okay, so if I have a problem that is 83 times 57. You're like, whoa, Mr. Walker, I don't know that I can do that. That's a lot of numbers, and I don't even know how I would even do that. I mean, I remember one digits, but you threw this other digit in here. How does that work? So I'm going to show you. I'm going to go ahead and solve this just to show you what you're supposed to do, and then I'll walk you through it. So I'm going to start with my ones, and I'm going to say 7 times 3, which is 21. So if this is 21, just like in the last video, your 1 comes down and stays in the ones place. This 2 is regrouped to the tens to be added. Okay? So now when I go back to the 7 and I multiply by 8, 7 times 8 is 56, plus 2 is 57, 58. So 58. Alright, so I've multiplied by this ones digit. Now is where it kind of gets complicated, and some of you get lost. So I have to have a placeholder right here, and that placeholder is always going to be a 0, because once I have this placeholder here, I can now multiply by the tens digit, because really we're done with the ones. So we need to move on to the tens. So in order to do that, we have to have this placeholder here, and I always, if you're in class with me, I always write placeholder because I want you to know that name. It's a placeholder for our ones because we're moving on to the tens. And we're going to take this 5 and we're going to multiply by 3 and by 8, just like we did with the 7. So 5 times 3 is 15. So I'm going to drop my 5 down, and then I've got to regroup my 1. I'm going to cross out this 2 because I'm done with it, up here. So when I multiply 5 times 8, I can add that regrouping. 5 times 8 is 40, plus 1 is 41. Now, do not cram 41 right here in this little space. You need to line up your numbers. So start from the ones, 1, and then put your 4. Now they're lined up in the ones, the tens, the hundreds, and even the thousands. So 1 plus 0 is 0. 8 plus 5 is 13. So I'm going to drop my 3, and I'm going to carry my 1 right there. So it's going to be regrouped into the hundreds place. So 5 plus 1 is 6, plus 1 more is 7. And then 4 plus nothing is 4. So my product is 4,730. Okay. Now, I'm going to do another example, and then I'm going to show you a way to check it using partial products. Okay. So if I have a problem like 16 times 29. Okay, my first step is to look at the ones place on the bottom on the equal bar. That's a 9. I'm going to outline my 9. My 9 is going to be multiplied by the 6 and by the 1. Okay, I don't know if you can see that. So I'm taking this 9, I'm multiplying by 6 and by the 1, just like you did with single digits. Okay, so 9 times 6 is 54. So I'm going to drop my 4, and I'm going to regroup my 5 to be added. So when I multiply 9 times 1, anything times 1 is itself, so that's 9 plus 5, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. So it's going to be 14. And I'm just bringing that down. So now I have 3 places here. I've got the ones, the hundreds, the ones, the tens, and the hundreds. But in order to move on to this 2, I have to have a placeholder, which is what I was talking about in the first example. Right there where it says placeholder, it's always going to be a 0. Okay, so I'm going to put a 0 here as the placeholder. This placeholder allows me to move over to my tens to multiply using that tens digit 2. So now I'm going to trace in blue. I'm going to multiply this 2 by the 6 and by the 1. And I can cross this out because I'm done with it. So I'm going to start with the 2 times 6. 2 times 6 is 12. So I'm going to drop my 2, and then I'm going to regroup my 1 at the top to be added. So now when I multiply 2 times 1, that's easy. Anything times 1 is itself. It's 2. Plus 1 is 3. So now I have ones, tens, and hundreds. I can now add. 4 plus 0 is 4. 4 plus 2 is 6. 3 plus 1 is 4. So my product is 464. Now if I wanted to check this using partial products, I totally could. Partial products, once again, reviews place, position, and value. So place value. I'm going to take this 9, and I'm going to say 9 is in the ones place, so it just stays the same. 9, and the 6 is in the ones place, so it stays the same. 9 times 6 is 54. So already I have my ones place, my tens place. I'm going to go ahead and make a group for my hundreds and my thousands. Okay? And I'm going to separate these into boxes. Some of you I've taught this way, and it seems to help. All right? So that's my first partial product. Now I'm going to take 9. It's still in the ones place, so it's just 9, times 1. But this 1 is in the tens place. So if there's 1 10 in the tens place, that means it equals 10. So really it's 9 times 10. Well, that's easy. 9 times 1 is 9, plus this 0 is 90. Hope you're following. Now I can move on to the other number that I need to multiply, which is 2. I don't have to use a placeholder when I do partial products to check. So this 2, so I'm about a different color. I don't know where all my pens went. Bear with me. I'm trying to find one that works. Hopefully you can see this one, and hopefully it works. So now I'm at the 2. The value of this 2 is 20. So really, I'm multiplying 20 times the 6 in the ones place. 20 times 6, forgot to put my equals on there. 2 times 6 is 12, plus this 0, that's 120. 120. Okay, I'm still at this 2, which has a value of 20, so I'm going to multiply 20 times the value of this 1, which is 10, so 20 times 10. 2 times 1 is 2. 0, 0. 2, 0, 0, that's 200. So I'm going to put a 2 in the hundreds place and 2 zeros in the tens and the ones place. Now I can add all of these numbers up to see if I get this same number. 4 plus 0 plus 0 plus 0 is 4. 5 plus 9 plus 2, well 5 plus 9 is 14. Plus 2, 15, 16. So I'm going to drop my 6. I'm going to regroup that 1 to the hundreds place. And then 2 plus 1 is 4. So do my answers match? They do. So I have completed this problem successfully. All right? So here's some practice problems that you can try. And this is a good time to pause the video, and then I will solve them so you will have the correct answer. But say you have 74 times 16 and 35 times 24. And last one, 62 times 53. Okay? So I want you to pause the video. I want you to attempt it, look at my example, and follow it. You might have to regroup, and that's okay. But I'm going to go ahead and solve now. So 6 times 4 is 24. So I'm going to drop my 4, and I'm going to carry my 2, or regroup my 2 to be added. 6 times 7 is 42, plus 2 is 44. And then don't forget, I need, sorry, it slid down. Then I need this placeholder. So it's going to be a 0. You put it in the ones place. And then that way you can start multiplying by your tens. So now 10 times 4, or 1 times 4, is 4. But isn't 10 times 4 40? You see what I did there? 1 times 4 is 4, but also the value of that 1 is 10. 10 times 4 is 40. Okay, I'll stop geeking out a little bit. All right, and then 1 times 7 is 7. So now all I have to do is add these two partial products together. These are called partial products because it's part of the whole product, which is going to be down here. Partial products. Okay, so 4 plus 0 is 4. 4 plus 4 is 8. 7 plus 4 is 11. So my answer is 1,184. Okay, I'm going to go on with the next one. 4 times 5 is 20. So I drop my 0. I regroup my 2 to be added. 4 times 3 is 12. Plus 2 is 14. I'm having to squeeze a little bit. Sorry. But then I've got to do I've got to do something. I've got to add that placeholder. So there it is. So that's where I can multiply by my tens. Okay. So now 2 times 5, that's 10. So I got to drop a 0. I'm done with that 2. I can regroup my 1 to be added. 2 times 3 is 6 plus 1 is 7. So when I add 140 plus 700, 0, 4, 7 plus 1 is 8. So my answer is 840. And then the last one. 3 times 2 is 6. 3 times 6 is 18. No regrouping there. We like when we don't have to regroup. Add my placeholder so I can move on to my tens. 5 times 2 is 10. So I'm going to drop my 0. I'm going to regroup that 1 to be added. 5 times 6 is 30. Plus 1 is 31. Do not cram. Start from the ones. 1, 3, that's 31. And then I can add. 6 plus 0 is 6. 8 plus 0 is 8. 1 plus 1 is 2. 3 plus nothing is 3. So my answer is 3,286.